Alright, so we're going to do a Replit lesson. We're just getting started with Replit. So I'm going to go out to repl.it. And I am already logged in. If you're not already logged in, go ahead and do that. So what I want to do is I want to create a new REPL. So I click on the button here, plus new REPL. And so when I do that, I get a variety of options of languages that I can choose. And so we're going to choose HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I'm going to call this REPL test REPL. And I'm going to click create REPL. I'm going to click on plus new REPL. I'm going to choose HTML, CSS, and JS as my language. And I am going to call it test REPL. I press create REPL. And so it creates a new REPL. So the first thing I want to do is let's just talk about what we have here. So right now I am in the file view. So I see I have 3 files. And this is important because in CodePen, there were no files. And so since we're doing a little bit more advanced web design, it's all file based. Underneath files, we have version control, which we will get to. Underneath that, we have packages. So if you want to incorporate third-party packages to make your application a little bit better. Here we have databases underneath that, and we're not going to do any database stuff, but Replit allows you to store and retrieve data. And underneath databases, we have settings. So we have layout, side by side, or it can be stacked. I like side by side. I prefer the dark theme. The light theme kind of is a little too bright for me. And normally the font size is set to normal. I like to put it large because I'm shooting these videos and I like for the text to be visible. I like to use an indent size of 4. And I want to set my indent type to tabs, not spaces. All right. And these other 4 we're just going to ignore. So I'm going to click back on files. Okay, so by default, when you create a new REPL, it opens up to the index file. And that's the page on your website, one of the pages. Typically your home page. So first thing I want to do is I want to reformat my code so that it uses 4 instead of 2 in the tabs. So over here I click on this button here, auto format, and now it expands it out so that it is indeed 4. So next I'm going to run it so you can take a look to see our page. So when I click on run, this is the previewer over here, and this is console, which we're not going to use. So I'm just going to minimize the console. But as you notice, my page is blank. And that is because when you're building web pages like this, what you see here, the visible area, is what you have in your body tag. So let's add something to the body tag. So this is the body. And now if I run it again, it shows up over there, which is what I would expect. So now if I want to do any styling, if I want to add some text and I want to style it, I have to put it inside of a tag. So I'm going to create a paragraph tag, type in the exact same content. This is the body, and I'm going to run it, and it looks exactly the same. Now, as we have learned up to this point, if I want to make my paragraph a different color, I have to do that in my CSS. So in CodePen, there was a CSS panel. Inside of Replit, because this is file based, I have a style.css. So I want to target my paragraph, so I type P, and I'm going to change the color of the text to red, and I just happen to know the hex color. I'm going to run it again, and now I have red text. So the next thing I'm going to do is go back into my HTML, and let's add a heading 1, and I'm going to put in here Replit is cool. Alright, and I accidentally typed it in the wrong spot, but now it is in the right spot. I'm going to type run, and just like we would expect, my heading 1 shows up. It's bigger than my paragraph text. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is put another paragraph in here, REPL, it is file based. And it needs to go between the paragraph tags. So I put it there, I click on run. And just like I'd expect, that happens. So I'm gonna just do one more thing here. So I've typed into I'm gonna do a couple more things. So my style sheet, if I want to change my heading to a different color, I would do that in the style.css, and let's make this blue. So RGB. Click on run. And so now my heading 1 is green. I think I said blue, my bad. And my paragraph text is red. Excellent. So when you're doing web design, and for every page in this way we're building it, we'd have a separate file, a separate HTML file. And when I get to the point where I'm uploading images and doing all kinds of stuff, if I have all the files in this one flat directory, it'll get really, really busy. So what I want to do is I want to create a folder structure. So the first folder I'm going to create, and I do that by mousing over add folder. I click there, and I'm going to create a CSS folder. And now what I want to do is I want to drag my CSS file into that folder, just like that. So if I collapse CSS, I can see that the style CSS is not there anymore. So now I'm going to run it again just to show you that, we just lost our formatting. And that is because in my index file, I'm referencing my style sheet on this line here, line 8. But since I moved it to a CSS folder, I have to also tell the browser that. So to fix that, I put CSS / in there. And there we go. I get my styles back. So that's just some really, really basic stuff on how to use Repl to create a really simple REPL. And in the next video, we're going to implement our 3-page website. All right, thanks.